Lots of square tubing left. What am I gonna do with all of it? Yes, grinding first. Why grind first? Because I'm going to cut this into a bunch of small pieces, and I figured grinding a bunch of small pieces is a recipe for losing my fingers. Grinding them when they're small is a bit easier. Generic cutting footage. And here it is, sort of the effect I'm going for, but gotta weld it together first. And here we go, I'm going to lay them out kinda like that. The idea here was to maximize the welding practice I could get from these short pieces. The longest piece is 4 inches, shortest piece is 3. Ooh, you can see the welding through the helmet. That was totally unintentional, but it's cool. I do a couple of tacks, and then I try to run beads, and then I grind, and then I stick the next layer on. I was intending to only weld the inside, so it would have kind of a cool outer finish, not realizing that no matter what I did... Oh, there it is again. I like that shot. Not realizing that the last piece will always have to be welded from the outside. So that was kind of a bummer. Welding and grinding, welding and grinding. I eventually also welded up all the outside joints. So every single joint where the tubing touches another piece of tubing, I welded a bead, some tacks, and then a full bead. I was trying to get it so I could do like consistent stick out. I think I got the settings right, but I couldn't get the stick out consistent and the speed consistent. I was also not able to keep it directly between the two pieces of tubing, so sometimes I had to run a second one if the first one was a little off center. I'm still having trouble kind of seeing what I'm doing through the mask, but I did manage to get it all welded up. Huzzah! And then grinding. Lots and lots and lots and lots of grinding. I also had to grind the bottom flat. I didn't do a very good job cutting or keeping them in place when I was welding, so I had to flatten the bottom. And then I came up with an idea, because the top looked kind of ugly. There's a skyscraper with the top kind of cut at an angle. I don't know what it's called, but it was the one that could have fallen over if a hurricane hit. Yeah, not very well engineered. Wow. Literal mounds. Mounds of metal dust from all that grinding. Remember this trick? Showed you in an earlier video, the shop tips? I don't even remember. It was so long ago, and it was literally the only idea I had that I could share. Magnet, wrap up in paper towel. Metal shavings? Magic! Just look at it go! So many metal shavings. So many metal shavings. That is considerably more metal than the last time I did this. I feel like I should save this for something. Powdered steel should have a use, right? You ever watch old Star Trek movies with the tribbles? Yeah, well this one's made out of steel. It's an iron tribble. It's so much steel that the magnet sticks to the paper towel. I wasn't even near all of it. I'm gonna have to take multiple passes. A bunch of it got down here. So much steel everywhere. And after much grinding, success! Huzzah! Now what is it? Ta-da! It's a pencil holder. It weighs a lot. Very, very much. I didn't put a bottom on it. I may in the future at some point. I kind of egged out the bottom so that only the 4 corner points would touch. I used that to help me balance it. It used a lot of box tubing. Took a lot of grinding to get these sides smooth. It looked like I could, if I ground a little more, I could remove those little lines, but I didn't feel like it. I did it on this one. And then I left this corner open. So you can see that I welded it. I was using it as a lot of practice to run a bead consistently. If I knew I was going to do it like this sort of angle look, I probably would have tried cutting them that way to begin with, but I kind of thought of that later. I like grinding. So it weighs a lot, took a lot of metal, took a lot of time. I burned myself a little bit. It only holds 9 pencils, and it scratches my desk. So I think that means this is not an ideal pencil holder, probably the least ideal one, but it does have kind of a point, and I bet I could bludgeon my enemies with it. It's so heavy. I need to file down some of these edges, because, wow, every single one of those holes has got a burr around it. That's safe. And now to place it where this one left off. Or no, I can't. I have more than 9 pencils. Oh well, I'll place it here anyway. Yeah. Perfect. Mission accomplished. What if I just started talking during the credits? Could I mess you up if you're trying to read? Would that not be nice? I don't know what I should say. Thanks for watching. Does anyone notice there's a chimp staring at a giant mushroom cloud like, hey, who let this guy in? Oh yeah, and can someone mention that reference? Huh? There is no prize if you mention it, but it would be kind of neat.